Half-Life Alyx is a spin-off to the popular first-person shooter game, Haph, that can only be accessed using a $300 nightmare helmet. You play as the pair of hands Emma Life 2 as she navigates the nicest city in Eastern Europe. That's a very overused joke, however, in this game that isn't a joke, it's actually the nicest one. The game is still deemed by many as the best VR title to be made, because Valve only exists to dropkick into markets no one does anything with, and then re-enter cryosleep. So with further delay, it's time to play the best dry erase marker simulator ever created. There's a video game that way too. But I lied, it's not that time yet. Now, does anyone know about the Half-Life series? Of course not. What are you, 23? Unk? So, Half-Life is when... Okay, good. Remember that Half-Life 1 had you playing as Gordon Freeman in the Black Mesa testing site that is trying to open up a portal to another dimension. Partially due to how the guy they hired to put on power armor and go down there has the intelligence of a goldfish, that's you, the facility explodes releasing hostile alien wildlife from another dimension, and head crabs that are somehow compatible with human physiology. Upon seeing this, Gordon begins killing everything with a crowbar, including the Spec Ops government cover-up, and then performing a 6th trimester abortion in that other dimension. After that, he's visited by the mysterious G-Man, who begins teleporting you, talking cryptically and offering that he, quote-unquote, hires you for a job. Yeah, that's fair. Recently, I've been out on one of those. Anyways, Half-Life 2, you get visited by the G-Man again. You gonna say something? Alright. Be like that. Turns out we kinda screwed the pooch on this one, and opening that portal caused a separate hostile alien civilization to enslave humanity, led by the co-opter Dr. Breen.
17. You have chosen or have been chosen to get
Obviously, Gordon doesn't even think about this and just starts hitting more things with his crowbar, including this here giant caramel dancing tower. The game ends with this dude called Eli Vance dying. For the time being, stay with me now. So that was Half-Life 2, which came out in 2004. We received word that there may be a Half-Life 3 in development now. However, since there was like a 20-year gap between Half-Life 1 and 2, of which Gordon vanished and reappeared for, and this game takes place between them, who do you think you need to play as Alyx?
Zombine. Right.
You play as Alyx. Starting up the game, we realize that this video is unwatchable, and I apologize, and I understand that for the lower tongue YouTube, that's business as usual, but you need to understand a few things. Every time I hit a loading screen, there's about a 50% chance the headset vision becomes misaligned, which is kind of like being on every brand of xylazine produced by all the horse pharmaceutical companies. That's fixed by unlinking and relinking my Oculus Quest 2, which itself has a 50% chance of not working, and making me restart both the headset and the PC. Furthermore, every loading screen re-enables a high zoom setting for spectators, which I didn't notice. That, combined with how I move my head like a bird, news to me, means you won't be able to see anything. Lastly, I forgot to move my cursor away a lot of the time. Oh yeah, fun fact, the new VTEL VR trailer has it on screen for one of the shots. I think I did that. This is going to be miserable, but as JFK once said when the White House was being attacked by zombies, I don't really know what happened there. He said that instead of looking for an easy life, you must look to be a stronger man. Additionally, I've installed a couple lore-friendly mods, so if you see something out of the ordinary, you're dissociating and it's your fault. Starting in Alyx's illegal rooftop weed plantation, I pick up the objects with the highest weight and lowest terminal velocity and begin terrorizing society 15 minutes before I even get a gun. The normal people then walk over and begin a video call with Russell and the aforementioned Eli, who is your dad. I didn't mention that. Fun fact, this is a regular WebM file that can be replaced with anything you want. In theory, I also couldn't get that to work.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Pressing forth, we notice the Combine are mobilizing against the Resistance. Something clearly went wrong when we stole that mini-reactor. But before we can find out what, they've already found the Rebel hideout, because having just 399 mini-reactors is apparently very annoying. Welcome back to Sitting in an Armored Vehicle Part 7, sponsored by the Ukrainians.
Look, stupid, we're all gonna die.
After not actually dying, I immediately slam open the nearest trash can and grab the dead rat. This is important. Once we meet Drip Russell, man's downloaded the entire Balenciaga catalog before the war. We discuss how we're gonna intercept that train that's bringing Eli to Combine Guantanamo Bay.
Grab something that represents us. Okay, that's you.
Now that we have a plan, I am supplied with a pair of gravity gloves. Given that most Valve enthusiasts are not able to reach their toes, these are essential for collecting ammo and 3D printer material for everyone's favorite uses, and also a most definitely unloaded gun.
What do you mean it's unloaded?
I then depart from the residential district with only the most basic supplies. It appears that the train is jammed midway through the ride to Conjunction Junction. What's your function? So after rerouting power to the locked door through the Combine network of wall plungers, we make our way to the only path forward, 2019 Wuhan, China. To do that, we have to trick shot this battery into the control panel.
Alright.
Give the rat wheel a ceremonious lick and then open the very loud. I can't hear anything. Inside the quarantine zone, we find out exactly why they wanted it blocked off. This is a crime of nature. Like even in Zen. After paying a visit to the CIA's dispensary for underprivileged mass shooters, giving you all the attachments we want banned, I of course dealt with them using the normal ways. After a bit of that, I run into... After a bit of that, I find I'm gonna go that way. Following the magical garbage, I am led to some very tasteful and most certainly unmedicated street art. Now with a newfound sense of awe, wonder, and nostalgia, I rack up the courage to see what's beyond this doorbell.
Oh.
Greetings, the Alyx Vance. Ah, my Desert Eagle's looking real tasty right now. I am making the Fortnite card currently. I suppose I've been in worse migrant camps. The Alyx Vance. They drilled holes into my skull. Look, buddy, you don't get this much psychosis without some ventilation. The Alyx Vance must go this way and free my polycule. Sorry, what was that? Did you say polycule? Rap blast! Ah, smell you later. I hope you get hit with a rock. Welcome to Chapter 3. Featuring a free Shinzo Abe shotgun and only a few rival bargain bin hunters. It comes in handy.
Oh, really? I'm trying to do the puzzle.
You know what's also handy? This with the flashlight, the Half-Life Alyx. So after punching people in the dark and watching a zombie throw a barrel at himself and die, I happen to run into the
Lego drone.
Further on is a very ableist puzzle for the dementia such as myself. Further on is a very ableist...
Yes, I'm gonna die. I don't care.
Welcome to the unexploded building, of course, filled with volatile explosives you need to prevent the detonation of yourself. This area should have been a crater and a pile of ash long before I got here. Now at the junction, I put a switch under the gun, except the Desert Eagle mod adds recoil, so it is functionally useless. This is a problem because these enemies also have guns, and I am actively getting wasted on dirt cheap Polish beer. You may say that part is my fault, but if my uncle taught me anything, it's that being a lightweight is a weakness to overcome in a trial by fire. After finding the rat wheels, I of course reroute the train. Okay, I guess he's dead. Once I give up and use the funny lever, I find Eli dangling from a very worn cable. I'm leaving. After doing the done that, we have to continue due to Eli having caught word of a super weapon made by the Combine, in case you didn't read that back there. Our only clue as to where it is being the Northern Star, because my informant happened to be this guy, so time remains of the essence. Never mind, I think that is the super weapon. Welcome to the grenade station, featuring enough grenades. I'm sure you're aware of the uses, for instance, religious martyrdom. But through inspiration of the Slavic people, I started filling a filing cabinet to the brim of these little numbers until they somehow managed to super glue themselves onto it. This was only a temporary setback because the solution from then onward is shooting one of the grenades and throwing the whole filing cabinet at them like a javelin. Through other means of orangutan level decision making, I arrive at the Northern Star, which is a hotel apparently, and I'm the stupid one. When we make it upstairs, we find a collection of fantastic alien wildlife and where to find them, such as our good friend Barnacle.
Toilet paper, you should go wipe yourself off, big guy.
Wall tumor, instant death explosive, Russell may or may not warn you about, and my favorite, infinite grenades John.
Waiter, more Zen grenades, please.
And also the boss fight, although I don't know how you can be off with an electrified Snuggie. Fortunately though, I got him with the oldest trick in the book. With a newfound collection of Bloxy-Cola, did I mention the health syringes are now Bloxy-Cola? I didn't mention that. I ran into another one of them, and it can possess people, I can't get up! We did all of that to get up a single floor. I don't know how he figured out he can do that, but regardless, after moving away this blockage, I see now why that was. After descending into the unlimited spiders, I stumble into an unregistered Combine Energy SMG that uses Duracell batteries. It is common known Half-Life lore that Heckler and Koch immediately made brand deals with the invading alien mega-civilization, considering CPs carry MP7s, so this fits nicely. After playing pool, I think, fighting two Snuggies simultaneously and hitting the sickest trick shot of all time, I make my way down to the first cable station and free the board. Dear God. The Alyx Vance. Have you heard of Red 40? Is that like a New World Order government type thing? No, but the Jews still had something to do with it. After entrusting the rest of the substation clearing job to the Vortigaunt and getting into more gunfights with the state, we realize that my frame rate is going to start hemorrhaging from this point forward, and it's not going to stop. After a bit of extreme limbo featuring my scoliosis, I collect the pinnacle of high fashion and get a chance to operate the lifty-majig. Splendid. I then offer the machine gunner my personal favorite antidepressant.
No, I need that.
After the world's most painful capture, I end up in another gunfight, and then we get an introduction to trip mines, even though a sleep-deprived intern put a couple back like a loading screen ago. Welcome to the Exploding Garage.
No,
After the exploding garage, I enter the next fight wearing the traffic cone, because who are the Combine looking for? Emma Life 2, exactly. They're not planning on shooting road obstacles. After like 20 minutes of running around in the Bob the Builder war zone, I make my way into a vodka distillery. Now I know what you're thinking, and you're right. Tito's is super weapon enough for me, but in here lies a tunnel that leads straight to the vault. Meeting spiky hat guy Larry, the similar alcoholic, we learn about...
Oh, that's Jeff.
Jeff is your personal Mr. X, nemesis, and or Obunga next plot of the chapter. He can't die, can't see, and gets distracted by every noise he hears, so you need to create some, using, say, the vodka, but personally I'd rather use the grotesque sounds of my flesh being torn off than waste that vodka. After most certainly exceeding the weight limit and...
Oh, no, you...
Stop it! Welcome one and all to the pit, entry only for thous to find for thee these batteries 3. That's right, we're going on a scavenger hunt, down there, with Jeff. Once I actually get it to work and activate the terminal, Jeff! He's not going to be bothering me anymore.
Send this man to the skibbity toilet back room.
I don't know what I was on when I was recording this. Probably the vodka. Regardless, welcome to the Russian petting zoo, featuring grand and disintegratable fauna, and the walkway of graphics card annihilation.
Just keep pointing there.
You'll never take me and my frame rate alive. After ruining the game with that mod, I get attacked by the giant bugs, but fortunately for our protagonist, Trish from Goodbye Volcano High, the dinosaur visual novel. You know, that game got revealed at the PlayStation 5 opening state of play, right? Like, what happened? Batman vision. The weak spots glow. After setting up this guy's martyrdom perk and rationally dealing with the situation, as well as composing my magnum opus, I get topside just in time for the vault to kill me. Okay, new plan that thing. But upon sneaking into an inconspicuous building, I see a Combine administrator calling this mysterious silhouette Judith. It's Judith from 2. Turns out, Gordon Freeman. He's the super weapon. He's the super weapon, and all of this was to keep him in. Let me get this straight. So after having annihilated every military in the world in the aptly named 7-Hour War, you're telling me that they were so afraid of this one mute guy with a stick that the Combine built a mega prison around him. I then put a rifle grenade mount on my shotgun that doesn't use blanks, so this would just kill you. I go outside to get these kids off my lawn and bang rocks together until this door opens.
Okay, I don't really know what's going on down there, but it looks like my shipment of bows came in. There we go. Doki, you got it.
Hit them with my bow?
Okay.
It's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
Don't do it.
Just need to gently dock the vault to the bridge. How hard can that be?
Okay, minor issue. We can fix it.
Yeah, I think he's dead now. Alright, so the last step here is to find a way to get into this mess I've just made. It shouldn't be too hard with stealth archer. After running into a Strider that is dead, which is real good, because, you know, that sucked. Like, it wouldn't be good, you know, if he was alive. I best a head crab in righteous chair combat and look at the Strider who is dead. Welcome one and none to the Strider fight, and by that I mean your weapons require multiple headshots to drop the average dude, and you need to run, using buildings as rest stops because he can't find you in the building. After fighting through the parking garage and making my way to the outside, we need to find out how to lose him. Fortunately, I found his weakness, this MK19 on the truck bed of a Toyota Hilux. He didn't seem to like that, so I walked into the vault's tractor beam and surrendered my weapons, as it most definitely gave me every form of cancer. Ah, didn't notice you there, Daniel. I am currently in a tenant complex in Bulgaria. As you know, space and time have never coped with the existence of Bulgaria well, which is why reality is doing that funny thing called shattering into pieces. Now I see what you're thinking. Does that thing have Freeman in it? And to that, I say he really isn't right now.
Hey, landlord, what do I do?
Going into the blue dimension and seeing the Combine moving into the vault, we figure out what was fueling this whole thing. It was a vortescence they were harvesting from those dudes back there, which caused anomalies through gravity. I have gravity gloves. That's right, here's the fourth gun of Half-Life Alyx, these hands. This has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the gameplay or anything you learned or got good at, but getting to wield John Slop Pyrosyndical's Gaster Blaster has expanded my lifespan significantly besides all those years it took. After smiting heathens with my magical powers, I get to Gordongle's chamber and... oh god, it's that guy. Miss Vance, I must congratulate you for your work. You have caused more havoc than a Puerto Rican with a Bluetooth speaker. What is Puerto Ricans? I don't know. I think they are not real. Anyway, my employers are very impressed with... What employers, dog? We're in another dimension. Who needs a guy who can do that? The Federal Bureau of Investigation. Are you stupid? Are you on the spectrum? Potentially, but I think most of that is a lethal amount of hallucinogens in my body, which is why you're here and I'm teleporting. In 5 years, Alyx fans, I regret to inform you that your father will be sent to Snow Bunny Heaven. That is, unless you prevent it. Brap this entity. While your father may live on, you have killed this chili bean potato. Yeah, I don't really care about that thing. I am hiring you now. After an 8-month internship period, you will receive an email this quarter.
She's gone, Gordon. She's gone. Son of a bitch, it has unforeseen consequences. I knew it. When I get my hands on him, I'm gonna kill him.
I would like to thank the psychological manipulation I received from my devout fans to review this game, and the sniper you guys put on the roof over really helped speed things along. I'm gonna do the part 2 next.
And stay down.